deformation. You can see the name at the bottom, David Stockman, former White House budget director. He's got a very deep resume, financial expert extraordinaire. David Stockman, thank you for joining us today on USAWatchdog.com.
Very happy to join you, Greg.
I saw, and I want to start here because this book is a message, and the message is clear, and it's backed up with your vast experience and data analysis. And I saw you on a CNBC interview recently. I think it's Fast Money. And the guys interviewing you couldn't even maintain eye contact with you. And they were just like, oh, gosh, no. Man, you were just one fact after another about how bad the economy is. And at the end of the interview, and about how much debt we cannot push into the system anymore.
Right.
And at the end of the interview, they say to you, well, that's one view. And I'm thinking, how many views can you get with that kind of data? Are you finding this pushback from mainstream media in general, not just CNBC, but in general, when you're out talking about how the die is cast, that the economy is going down, the markets are going down? Are you getting a lot of pushback?
Oh, there's tremendous pushback, but that's why I call it bubble vision. My view is not in accord with the authorized theory that everything is awesome, that the central bank and Janet Yellen are totally in charge of our destiny, that the world economy is in great shape, maybe stuttering here and there, a little oil's taking a dip, that everything will be better soon. That is what I call the mainstream narrative. I think it's totally wrong. You raised the image in my book there. I spent 730 pages trying to lay out why we are in a giant artificial bubble created by the central banks over the last several decades that's nearing the end. It's at its apogee. I think the world economy is now plunging into an unprecedented deflation, recession, period of shrinkage that will bring down all the markets around the world that have been vastly overvalued as a result of this massive money printing and liquidity flow into the Wall Street and other financial markets. So obviously they didn't want to hear this, but it's interesting. It was actually the host who didn't want to hear it. He is a CNBC regular. He's part of the daily dog and pony show. You know, the water's warm, stick in your toe, buy some more stocks. Actually, many of the panel members are as skeptical of where the world is going and the markets are heading as I am, only they can't say it on the air. They told me afterwards. So
wait. They actually told you? Yeah, Dave. You're right about this. It's tanking. They actually told you that offset?
I mean, not all of them, but some of the members of that panel are pretty serious students of the financial markets. They haven't completely lost their sanity in this great artificial phony bubble that's been created. But it's very rare that they bring a pure dissenting view onto the screen on CNBC. About once a month or so they invite me. I guess I'm the token dissenter. But look at the markets. We're off to the worst start for a year in history. The markets are down anywhere from 10% to 30% around the world. In fact, the other day in my blog, David Stockman's Contra Corner, I posted the fact that 40 markets around the world, including the stock market in Canada, Brazil, and China, and many other, Japan at that point, are down more than 20%. 40 markets are down something like $8 trillion in market cap and are technically in a bear market. So that is fairly inconsistent. That is a note of dissonance, not coming from skeptics like me, but from the marketplace and the world itself. They try to ignore that whenever they can on bubble vision, because bubble vision goes by the hour and the minute. There is no memory there. There is no history. it's all, I guess the market is in good shape today because Facebook posted a good quarter yesterday. That's about as far as it gets. That's, a measure of the superficiality. But it's part of why this whole central bank driven era of what I call bubble finance is so unfortunate and dangerous, actually.